Picture a different couple and see if it rings a bell. They're both well-educated, both working long hours and respectable careers. She's in communications, earning about $65,000 a year. He works in systems engineering, making around $75,000. Together, they bring in roughly $140,000 annually, which places them comfortably above the median American household and solidly in the upper tier of earners. By every conventional metric, they should be thriving. They should be saving aggressively, investing for the future, traveling without stress, and feeling stable. Instead, they feel constantly behind. Their bank account hovers near zero by the end of most months. Their emergency fund would barely last 8 weeks. And when a medical bill or home repair shows up unexpectedly, it goes straight on a credit card. They're tired all the time, barely overlapping schedules during the work week, sharing rushed dinners and late-night exhaustion. And what makes it most frustrating is that they followed the rules. They earned the degrees, built the careers, got married, combined finances, bought a home in a good area, and did exactly what modern America tells you leads to success. So why does it still feel like suffocating financial pressure instead of security? Why does earning well into 6 figures feel so fragile? If you've ever stared at your combined income and thought there's no way we should feel this broke, then this story is going to connect some dots. For decades, we've been told that 2 paychecks are the solution, that doubling income automatically doubles security, and on the surface, that logic seems airtight. If 1 income can support a household, then 2 should create abundance. But that's not how the last 50 years actually unfolded. What unfolded instead was a quiet structural shift where the second income didn't create freedom, it reset the baseline cost of living. Economists later called this the two-income trap, a term introduced in the early 2000s by Elizabeth Warren when she was studying thousands of American bankruptcy cases, and her findings were deeply uncomfortable. Families with 2 full-time earners were not safer, they were more exposed. They file for bankruptcy more often, not less, despite working longer hours and earning more on paper. To understand why, you have to rewind to the 1970s, when most middle-class households relied on a single primary income. Back then, 1 paycheck could realistically cover a mortgage, food, transportation, healthcare, and still leave room for savings. Housing consumed a modest share of income. Public schools were accessible without bidding wars. And crucially, there was slack in the system. If the primary earner lost a job, the non-working partner could step into the labor market. That unused income potential acted as a built-in insurance policy. Fast forward to today, and that reserve has already been spent. Dual-income households are now the norm, not the exception. And while total earnings are higher after inflation, the core costs of middle-class life have exploded. Home prices have more than doubled in real terms. Healthcare costs have multiplied several times over. Childcare has become a second mortgage, and education expenses have soared. The extra income didn't disappear, it was absorbed. Every dollar of it. When both partners work, the second paycheck is immediately eaten by higher taxes, childcare, commuting, additional vehicles, convenience spending driven by exhaustion, and the inflated price of essentials that were bid up once 2 incomes became standard. By the time all of that is accounted for, the net contribution of the second income can shrink to almost nothing, sometimes even turning negative. Yet psychologically, households plan their lives around the gross number. They buy homes based on what 2 incomes qualify for, take on debt sized for permanent dual earnings, and lock themselves into fixed costs that require both paychecks to keep flowing without interruption. The moment one income falters, whether due to illness, layoffs, burnout, or family obligations, the entire structure wobbles. There is no fallback because the fallback was already deployed. That's why so many financially successful households live on the edge, one surprise away from crisis. The issue isn't irresponsibility or poor budgeting, it's the loss of margin. In earlier decades, families had flexibility. Today, many have higher incomes but zero resilience. The escape from this dynamic isn't about earning more. It's about rebuilding that margin intentionally by designing life around a one-income foundation. That means structuring housing, transportation, and fixed obligations so they can be sustained by a single paycheck, and treating the second income as temporary and optional, even if it continues for years. When the extra money is directed towards savings and investments instead of lifestyle expansion, it restores choice. Over time, that choice compounds into real security, the kind that lets a family absorb shocks, change direction, and prioritize well-being over constant financial pressure. The uncomfortable truth is that two incomes don't automatically create safety if both are fully consumed before they arrive. Real stability comes from flexibility, not appearances, and from refusing to let rising costs define how much of your life your income must support. Once you see that, you can stop running faster just to stay in place and start building something that actually lasts.